So for Mr. Handsome, Mr. Z, he was doing a little sit all of a sudden. So what I would love to work on with him is a little bit with some of those lovely maybe weight behaviors. So weight would be something that I would do. Sometimes I want my babes to wait, and then I might put a food dish down and call them forward, or I might do a wait and then ask my dog to come when called. Remember, wait is they hold back and they wait a few moments until you have movement, and movement is what they're being reinforced for. So if, for example, you tend to do a stay, as in stay there till I call you or stay there till I get you, I find that can be very, very confusing because at one point they're being reinforced for not moving, and the next moment they're being reinforced for, again, staying still. Moving. So what I would recommend is I like to have a distinct wait position and a distinct stay. So for wait, my dog would be waiting, and then what's being reinforced is the movement to me with a recall. So you guys could use the word come, or you could use the word here, and that means to come forward to you. If you're going to be doing your stays, we'll work on those in a moment so you can see the difference between the two. I would recommend to not do one after the other and kind of get in the habit of doing it, because you might get confused and your puppy might get confused. So he's doing a great job just going and doing some find its. So we might go again. Ready? Zeus. Yes, nice little check-in, feed for that. So what I'm going to do with the weight is I typically like to work them. Oh, he says, I'm on Crumb Patrol, lady. I found all these cool ones that Mr. T had left behind. So I'm going to get a sit or a down, tell my puppy to wait, and then give them a second or two, and then go, Zeus, come, and pull him into my space. So again, I'm luring him with the food in the beginning. Later, again, remember you'll probably go into intermittent reinforcement and do a few other options. So I'm going to tell him to wait. And then from there, if you can add distance, awesome. But remember, you might want to start off first with time frame. So he's just waiting for a second or two. And then I'm going to go, Zeus, come. And then feed for that lovely response. So I want Mr. Z to think that the good stuff happens when I come into the recall sort of position near the handler. So for these waits again, we get that little sit or a down. You tell him to wait. He holds it for a second or two. If he wants to relax in the down, perfectly fine. Again, I'm not a huge stickler. If your puppy tends to do downs better for a wait behavior or a sit, you can rotate through the two. But let's say your puppy's a bit tired and you think they're going to just go into a down, start there and then apply your weight. And then when you're ready, again, come and then feed for that recall. If you have multiple dogs, which I know at home there is another dog, a golden retriever as well for Mr. Z, so his sister. So I would recommend to get them in the habit of hearing their name and then the recall word or the slogan. And he might be going off to grab a little drink of water. So we want to make sure that when Mr. Z is practicing, you don't get two for the price of one. Sometimes you only want one babe to come at you. So I sometimes like to pair their name with the cue that I'm working on. So right now you're just going to go grab a little drink of water, and then we'll work through a few more little weights and see how he does. He says, I got to tank up. He's obviously parched after some snacks. But all the babes do have water and shoes and items that they've been, bringing from home to enjoy while they're in their little zones, taking breaks between the sessions. So ready? Zeus. Ready? Come. He says, hold on, lady, there's noises. So my neighbors are here doing some reorganization of some of their items. So if I'm out of range, it's just me getting Mr. Z's attention and then bringing him back into the zone where we wanted him. Nice job. So if let's say Mr. Z ever gets confused, go to retrieve your babe to help them if they're really having a hard time. So I'm going to gain again that little sit. I'm going to feed him for that because I want him to right now still find value in each position. Then I'm going to tell Mr. Z to wait for just a moment. And then from the wait, I would go, Zeus, come, and bring him into me. If, again, in the beginning, time frame is where you start, ready, come. That was just a simple recall from a distraction, not with a wait behavior. So you will be able to do weights in different ways, recalls in different ways, sometimes with a weight exercise and other times just from the environment. So with Mr. Z right now, we might even go, ready, send him away for a little snack. And then from there, you could do those simple recalls again. So Zeus, come. Yes, what a good boy, and feed for that response. So very nice. So I think for some of the babes too, they're hearing the noises in the building and they're a little bit more distracted by the noises this session. So let's say I ask him for a wait. He's going to hang out there. Then what I'd recommend is when you bring him into you, you would say his name and then the recall. So Zeus, come. He's like, my brain melted. I wanted to lie down. If he's really tired, remember to pick moments where your babes are not too pooped out. So let's say maybe, for example, he's a little bit tired and maybe he would do better working a bit with stay. We could go work that in just a moment. So, but be proactive in your puppy's learning. Maybe there's moments where you're feeding for softness, and that's okay too. So I know I've mentioned sometimes just lower your criteria and work simpler versions. So let's pretend Mr. Z was unable to do a sit or a down and a wait behavior because he's overwhelmed. We could instead go into doing those find its and from there call him into you. So Zeus, come, and you could work that lovely recall. So you could use your weight to practice that impulse control, holding back until he's been released to come forward. And then as he's getting comfortable, you could then instead do recalls and bring him into you that way. So ready? Zeus, come. Yes, very nice. So he's doing a really nice job working his little recall, his name recognition, and working some of these weights are looking quite nice. Ready? Zeus, come. Got a little hairball, got to wipe that one. There we go. It's hard when you have all these friends here. So if your puppy starts to get a little bit mouthy, a little bit rambunctious, don't forget to offer chew items or redirect onto a better option or maybe give naps. I know sometimes when he's here, he does get the opportunity for a nap. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's always sleeping. So when he goes home, he's probably rather pooped out and then does take a really nice chunk of a nap when he gets back home to his usual zone. So this is really pretty with his weights. I want to work a little bit with his stays as well in just a moment.